Yeah, so we picked a theme today, which has a lot, which you have a lot of background in, and I think
Yeah.
it's a really good perspective. And yeah, would you like to share what the theme is for tonight's competition?
Yeah, sure. I chose team puzzling as a theme because this is probably the thing that I'm most excited about when it comes to speed puzzling. Because I have a team that and we've been puzzling together for 2 years now. And yeah, for me personally, this is always the most fun aspect. And when we go to competitions, this is the one that I look forward to the most. So yeah, I'm also happy to hear from everyone else what their experience with team puzzling is, if it's just similar for them, or if most people are focused on the individual puzzling. Because I feel like when it comes to the competitive aspect of puzzling, the solo puzzling is still more, let's say, serious than the team puzzling. But I feel like also on the team side of things, there can be certain things that are very much interesting and fun when it comes to strategies and such. So yeah, excited to talk about that topic.
Yeah, for those who don't know, yeah, tell us the name of your team and who's on there.
So our team is called Pythagoras. This is because we are all mathematicians. So we wanted to do obviously some fun with jigsaw puzzling and mathematics. So we chose that one. And we have four people: Maren, Jana, and Mark, and myself. And yeah, we basically all started speed puzzling when we decided to go to the World Championship 2023, and then we set up this team and started training for that.
Mm. Yeah, and so you've had good experiences with them so far. You're in both of the finals in 2023 and 24, and in the German Nationals in February, your team came second, and
Mhm.
you had a win recently. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we also went to Arlon in Belgium, and they have every year a 12-hour marathon event going on. We already went there in 24, so last year. We came in second, and this year we managed to get first place there. So it's yeah, one of those marathon events where you have like one puzzle after another for 12 hours, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's probably my favorite type of event, and yeah,
Yeah, well, it's
great.
it's more time with the team and more puzzling.
Yeah, exactly. It's just longer. This is why it's better.
Yeah, well, we asked that the question to the participants, what are the pros and cons of team puzzling? And yeah, definitely the biggest yeah feedback was that it's just more fun. Uh, yeah, just the social aspect, and also, you know, it's not just that time that you're at the table. You know, you also have all the like swapping the messages before the competition and planning your t-shirts and everything. Like there's just something um yeah, just really fun about that. And also, you, of course, you have more strengths in a team. I think that's
Mhm.
quite interesting. You know, someone's good at sorting, someone's good at doing the border, someone else is better at sky. Maybe there's someone who can puzzle upside down. Um, so yeah, there's an interesting aspect of like a division of labor there. And yeah, others say, like, for example, uh, um, you can yeah, do different sections and encourage each other. So those are also very positive aspects of team puzzling. Um, do you consider there to be any cons of team puzzling, or how is it like different, or any negative aspects compared to when you're just puzzling by yourself?
I mean, one thing that came up in the answers, and this is something that I experienced a lot also, is that it's harder to get together as a team to practice. So you're always, let's say, more dependent on other people. That might be a negative compared to, or at least for some people, compared to the solo category. I personally don't mind that, that you have to, you know, work together with others. I think this is an aspect that makes it fun. And you know, like the problem that it's hard to find time to train as a team, it's more like a thing of it's so much fun. So the problem is essentially we cannot do it enough. So it's not a con for me. It's just uh, yeah,
It's just a logistical issue, really.
yeah. And this happens with many things, like with many hobbies where you have to align the schedules of 4 or more people. It can be tricky to make that.
Yeah, and just one other thing. I mean, there's lots of little aspects of it that I'll share throughout the live stream. But something else that I thought was quite interesting was that, well, a negative or like it's not well, not a negative so much is that you just don't know the whole puzzle. Like because if you're working in a team of 4, you only do like roughly a quarter of it. So some people say like you've done the puzzle and yet you only know part of it. So I thought that was a funny way to look at it. I mean, I haven't had that much experience myself in teams. I've done I did a team competition in Trio where you also were, and two 10-hour marathons. But yeah, but I think the fun part is that you for me, I think a real positive part is you just feel so much faster compared to when you're by yourself. Like, you're just
Yeah,
doing your little thing and then you look up and then it's like, oh, half the puzzle's done.
exactly.
And it's like you get to know. And then at the end, when you look at, like normally you might have like 100, 150 pieces left and you kind of think, oh, maybe I got like, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes to go. But it's just minutes. It's just like it goes so fast towards the end. So
Yeah. Also, when you have like almost the puzzle almost done, and you have just a couple of pieces left, and you have 8 hands slamming them into the puzzle, it can be very chaotic, but I think it's also a fun aspect of it.
that's really exciting. Yeah, all right. Well, thanks, Johan. So yeah, we'll chat more throughout the live stream. I'll just do the checks and see how everybody is going. Google changed some icons, and so I have to do more clicks now to find out what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I just somebody before their camera was off. I'm just going to check them. Okay, yep, Tulia, I can see you now. That's good. Yeah, Jana, if you've forgotten to register, you can just register when you're finished. That's okay, because we won't do the results anyway until tomorrow. Yeah, Eric, I can see your registration. That's all right. Yes. Good. Yeah, so there's just a couple of things I need to mention before we start today. So the first thing is don't forget to keep your wrapping paper. So if you're participating in the anniversary competition, which is in 2 weeks. Yeah, so it's not the Monday competition, but then it's a week later. So the anniversary competition, there's going to be like some fun giveaway prizey things. And one of the competitions is that there will be a prize for, I don't know if it's 1 person or 3 person. I don't know. It depends on how many people participate and how good the entries are. If you can be creative with your wrapping papers, and then somebody will win, somebody or more than 1 person will win a prize. So I don't know, you could do some origami, you could make some object and put it on your table during the competition, or use it to decorate your space somehow. I have a few ideas. I'll make a post about it on Instagram. But yeah, when you do unwrap, don't kind of like, destroy it. And maybe you want to fish it out of the recycling if you've already done a competition recently and done that. Okay, so that was one thing. Yeah, and greetings to those on YouTube. So, okay, it looks like we're ready to go. So this is kind of annoying. I now have to press like 3 clicks to get people onto the screen. I don't know why Google suddenly changed that. Okay, so I have to make a little announcement. I've kind of messed up, and I feel really bad about this. You all have a puzzle in front of you, and I can't change that. The problem is that I allocated the puzzle before I had done it, and when I finally got around to doing the puzzle, it was trickier than expected. So I do feel pretty bad about that, but I just want to encourage everybody to just do their best. So don't get discouraged if no one has finished at like around 50 minutes or an hour. Like, just keep on going. This is a competition like anybody, like any other competition, and every nationals there are trickier puzzles turning up. So what I want to say is, yeah, I didn't make, when I made the 50 plus competition, the idea of it was that the fastest people would not be eligible, you could say, for that. So that still counts. All of the super fast people who like finish in like 30 minutes are not here. But for everybody else, you all have a fair chance to go for the podium, to do your best. And in the future, all the future 50 plus competitions do have like a puzzle that's more of like easy to average. So I'm very sorry about that. I do regret that, but I can't change it. And I've been feeling quite nervous about this for a few weeks. So to make it a bit better, hopefully, and to motivate all of you to keep on going, I'm off doing a special giveaway. So you have to either finish the puzzle or stay until the end to the 2 hours. So so you can't leave early. And I will give away 3 €25 vouchers to the shop for somebody who finishes between 4th and last. So that's my little attempt to make it a bit better, but now I will, yeah, let's get ready to start. So don't forget, don't destroy your wrapping paper, and whatever turns up on your table, you just do your best, and we'll be cheering for you. All right, so you now you may now remove the wrapping paper and the stickers, and we see what we have. And don't forget, Glacier has come up 3 times in national competitions. Epic Journey has come up once. We've had the Panda. This is not as hard as that. Don't worry. It's not as hard as the Bird Flower. It's not as, yeah, so it's not like super, super terrible, but it's a bit challenging. Let's just say that. So yeah, please remove the wrapping paper carefully, that you may use it for some creative artwork, and remove the stickers so that the box lid will be able to come off easier once we've done the countdown. And just think of what a good training this is, and yeah, all the good aspects, that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, all right? Okay, so when you've unwrapped the puzzle, put the lid back on and place it in the middle of the table. Just doing a quick check. And now I'm already hot and sweating after that. All right, we're going to have a great competition, everybody. Everyone has their puzzle on the table. Let's do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Puzzle, everybody.
Good luck, everyone. I believe you can do it.
All right, so I'll show you what we have today. This is from Nathan. So it's the Ravensburger cut. It's called Carte Blanche donne à Marie Bedon des Tribulations de Marie, Dahlias et Roses. Let's just call it Dahlias and Roses. And when I saw this puzzle, like I thought, okay, it's flowers. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You've got different colored flowers. There's different colored backgrounds. Yeah. And then I did the puzzle and realized that some things are a bit more similar. And yeah, I can only blame myself. Maybe I just, yeah, when I pick the puzzles, they're like this big on a screen, and I kind of have to imagine how they are. And yeah, but I can't change that. But it's a beautiful puzzle. So yeah, how would you go about that one, Jörn?
Maybe you can post the name in the
Oh
uh,
yeah. So if you
YouTube
want,
chat because I didn't quite follow that.
yeah, it's a very long name. I think because it also includes the artist, but I just found it under Dahlias and Roses. Yeah, so if anyone wants to look at
Yeah,
the image in more detail, just search for Nathan Dahlias and Roses. Yeah. So I'll start in the, we'll just put some people up on the screen. I'll start in at the letter M. And yeah, let me know when you've had a look at the image, Jörn.
yeah, I think I found it. Um, yeah, so my first impression was that you can probably sort by color reasonably well. But now that I have a closer look on it, it's pretty tricky because there are multiple flowers that are very similar in color. So you have at least two colors of the same, like the pink, the big pink rose, and the other flower are very, very similar in color. So, and together they make up quite a big section of the image. So it's probably difficult to pull them out and do them first. Um, but I still think I would probably start with that because this is the thing that I imagine would jump out
So
from the pile of pieces.
which flowers?
The dark pink one,
The dark pinks.
both of them, like the rose on the top right, and
Mm-hmm.
then the other one in the bottom left.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so they're the most like intense colors in the
Yeah,
image. Yeah. All right. So on screen right now we have Maggie Magdalena from Austria, Maita from Belgium, Mandy from the Netherlands, Maria from Slovakia, Maria TB from Sweden, and Marina from Sweden. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So we see.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Um, sorry, everyone's still like flipping, pulling out the edge pieces. Probably starting with some sorting. I can imagine I see some pink piles at on Marina's screen. So yeah, this is I think a good start to pull out some colors, even if they are not assembled first. I think it's good to separate them at the very start.
Yeah, we can see Mandy is going for the border, which is also where I started. Yeah, and there is a lot of difference in the background. So the background, it's not like just one color. You do have like some black in the background and different kind of like watercolor shades. You've got greens, and then there's like some patchy, blotchy pinks and yellows.
Mm.
So that helps to do the border because you just have like more kind of, yeah, colorful sections to go along. All right.
Yeah, I think the border makes sense because it's um, diverse enough so that it can be assembled quickly, I think. And then it gives a starting point for some of the flowers. I might imagine that especially on the right-hand corner um, where the flowers attach to the border, this can be a good starting point.
Yeah, so yeah, Maggie Magdalena is doing a lot of sorting. So we can see the background being sorted. That's like the green and blacks, and then also some piles of yellow and white. All right, so yeah, so then let's ask the the YouTube chat. What will be the first time for this puzzle? But yeah, so I'm sorry if to give anybody a bit of a shock, but I just feel I needed to mention that. And but in the end, the first, it's always the same. It doesn't matter about the time. It's always about in the order that it comes. So, well, yeah, on the top left, we have Matilda from France, Michael Sch from Germany, Milka from Finland, Nat Mooney. Mooney, you don't have a registration. You can register later. And we have Natalie from Germany and Rachel from Denmark.
Yeah, Rachel's already putting different colored piles pieces. And very interesting strategy for sorting from Matilda, I feel, with different, it seems like different rows. Maybe the upside down pieces are on a pile, and then the yellow whitish pieces go on the back of it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how Matilda has sorted the colors like horizontally rather than like little piles or little circles. I mean, it's quite pretty looking at Rachel's table because you have like this really colorful spread.
Yeah. It's also good with the camera from above. It's easy to see the different piles. Looks like she's doing a full sort before starting to assemble.
I have to say, I've never done a full sort. I don't have the patience for that. I might pull out like several colors and the edges that catch my my attention, but I've never like sorted every single piece. But yeah, I'm impressed by people who can do that and stick with that. I'm like too like, oh, I see something that can fit, and then I go for it. All right. So yeah, looking good so far. Everyone's yeah, either sorting or starting on the border. Yes, I just wanted to read out some of the answers that we received so far. Yeah, so Marina, who was on the screen a couple of minutes ago, Marina from Sweden, she says, my first experience competing with others was at the Swedish Championships this year. Before that, I'd only done puzzles at home with my kids in a calm and quiet setting. So I was pretty nervous about meeting the others. None of us had met before, but wow, what an experience. It was so much fun, and now we keep in touch almost every day. Doing puzzles with others really brings a lot. You make friends, you get motivated, and you push yourself to do your best. At the same time, there's a comforting feeling in being part of a group. Sure, sometimes you might approach things differently or get in each other's ways with so many hands on the puzzle, but honestly, the downsides are small compared to the amazing benefits. So there's a really positive answer from Marie.
This is really great to hear, and I feel similarly about the community as a whole. You know, like even if you don't know anyone, going to a competition or a meetup, people are very welcoming, and I've had this experience as well. You can just get to know each other very quickly, and yeah, maybe even found pairs partners or teams that way. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that this is also working out in other parts of the community.
Mm. Yeah, and so a couple of people said that a con is that if you don't communicate, then you can't get in each other's way. So yeah, communication is important. So oh yeah, I like seeing how Rachel's Rachel's table is coming together. It looks so pretty, like a rainbow spread.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I've added to the screen Rebecca from Austria, Ricardo from Germany, Richard from Belgium, Ruth from Switzerland, and Sabina from Czechia. And Richard says the pros are sharing the workload, playing to each other's strengths, motivating each other. The cons is that division of labor can be difficult and too many hands grabbing pieces and reaching over one another.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes it can be tricky to really have sections for every puzzler on the team. I feel so. That's an aspect that can be tricky to navigate. But it also means that you don't have to do all the difficult parts of the puzzles yourself. And on the screen, we can already see some assembly. It seems like Sabina is actually quite good on the progress with the purple, sorry, the pink flower. So, and also other puzzlers are seemingly starting with the pink section. So, yeah, apparently this is not too bad to assemble for some of them at least, from what I can see. And
Yes.
then other people are still working on the border.
Yeah, so with that biggest flower in the middle, it's this deep pink flower. So you have like on the left hand side, it's like very thick pink strokes, and on
Yeah.
the right hand side, it's a bit more watercolor. So if you have like a bit of like a thinner looking pink, that would belong to the right hand side of the image. And the other thing with flowers is the outline is very jagged. You know, like it's not like a smooth circle or not like a straight line. You have these kind of like, you know, as you go around the petals, this wavy motion. So you also, within the outline of the petals, you have different backgrounds. So my biggest tip for this puzzle, which I didn't realize until quite late in the game, was to focus on the background. I got really distracted with the flowers in the foreground, which can look quite similar. And once I started to look at the background a bit more, like that really helped, because there's not that many black sections. There's not that many like, yeah, there's a lot of variation in the background. So I guess I would say, you know, if you get stuck on the block colors, take a look at the background and yeah, look for those contrasts. But yeah, it looks like Sabina's doing great there on the flower. You can see a nice big chunk coming together, and yeah, Richard and Rachel, yeah, doing a great job there on the border.
Yeah, it's true that the pink flower has a bit of a gradient, so it's probably not as hard as I initially thought. But sometimes it's tricky to really assess how difficult a section is. I remember having a similar feeling about the German national final puzzle, where there was this the succulent puzzle where you have the big red heart-shaped succulent in the middle. Um, and that was also a lot more difficult than I anticipated. So sometimes you can think, oh, it's not too bad, but then when you have the pieces before in front of you, can be a lot trickier.
Yeah, so on screen we have Sabina from Czechia, Sabrina from Switzerland, Sana from Finland, Sarah from Sweden, Stefan from Austria, and Stephanie K from Germany.
Yeah, so we see some puzzlers who already have the border finished. Sabrina and Sana, Sana is still working on it, but Sarah and Stephanie already have the edge finished and are working now to attach some pieces onto it. So we can see on Stephanie's screen, she's already working on the second, the two pink flowers and the border. So I think her progress is pretty far along. And with Zara, it seems like she's working on the yellow flower that we have in the bottom left corner. So a bit of a different starter here, but also quite far along.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to see those sections coming together and having flowers also, like seeing the flower in the corner building out and yeah, having something to attach to. Okay, so yeah, so Sabina mentioned before, someone to talk to during team puzzling is definitely a pro.
Mm-hmm.
A con might be that I focus more on talking than puzzling. Do you ever have that? You get this distracted that you start getting really carried away with your chatting, that you forget that you're like in a puzzling competition, or are you able to maintain the focus pretty well?
Well, in a competition, I think we are pretty good at maintaining the focus. And of course, we have to communicate about tactics and who's doing what and how do we separate and sharing information. But of course, during training, that happens all the time. One of the funny things for us is that, of course, while we are speed puzzling, we are all so much focused still on the puzzling that there's only like a bit of mental energy that can go into the talking, so that can come out really funny what we're talking about, because there's not really that much thought behind it. So sometimes we have like half sentences or nonsensical things going on in the conversations just because of that. It can be really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it does take a lot of concentration to puzzle, and then yeah, also to be having conversations at the same time.
Yeah. It's
So
always puzzle first, talk second, and that means that the talking sometimes is a bit wacky.
yeah, so I've added Tammy to the screen, Tammy from USA. We have Tanya from Germany, Taya from Finland, and Tulia from Finland. So actually, I started with yellow. So for me, the color that jumped out at the beginning was yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see on Tanya's puzzle that she's got this one yellow puzzle, one yellow flower already done, and she's also working on a second one. What I kind of didn't realize later, because I didn't look at the image too much when I started, I just was sort of grabbing the yellows, is that there's also other flowers that have a yellow center, but not necessarily a full yellow. So once I did lots of yellow centers, I was like, oh, I can't really go further. Or I'm running out of pieces, and then I had to switch to another color.
Yeah, so I think the yellow flower in the bottom left is stands out quite a lot, but it's also not that big of an area. And I think it's probably tricky to do other yellow sections because we have a couple of flowers that have similar tones of color. But we see Tanya already assembling the big yellow rose-colored-ish flower in the on the bottom right, and it seems like she's actually doing it quite well. So this is another approach to the different colors for sure.
Yeah, I found that once I had done the yellow centers, it was quite hard to build outwards. I think if you're doing like a circular section, whether it's a flower or a mandala or something else like that, it's quite hard to build out because you just don't have enough information. I found it more helpful to try and do like a border of a flower so that you have the contrasting colors and you can kind of see in which directions the petals are going, and then more to like to build inwards. Yeah, because
Yeah.
because building outwards is, yeah, you're kind of building out into nothing, which is a bit tricky.
Yeah, I think there are two ways to do it, like from inside to the outside, or build the border first and then fill it up. And I think in this image, starting with the borders of the flowers is actually a good way to do it because they actually have very sharp edges. It's not like gradient into something into the surrounding, but there is like we have like white contour lines that make them really distinct from the background.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do have kind of like a white outline on them. I didn't actually notice that before. Yeah, I'll show the image again close up so people can see that. Yeah, so we have Zach from UK, Aidan from Switzerland. So Aidan won the first 50 plus competition with the Schmidt Thomas Kincaid image of the Little Mermaid. We also have Amy from the UK, Anna from Cyprus, and Aneta from Germany.
Yeah, it seems like the majority of puzzles are starting with the color pink. You can see it with Aiden, for example. It's a bit difficult to see where he's going next because I think those two flowers are already almost assembled. And now, I'm wondering what is the next section for him specifically. And with Anna, it seems like she sorted out the green pieces and they are inside the puzzle border. So maybe she's going to start assembling them. This is an interesting choice of strategy for sure.
Mm. Yeah, I've just heard from one of the assistants that Loretta McHugh, your box is in front of the camera. If you could check that, Loretta. Yeah, but Aiden is making great progress there. 2 complete flowers. That's looking really good. I have to admit I did it opposite because I had that large pink flower I really struggled with. Like I'm really hoping that it was just me, that it's just that this was not my type of image. I'm really hoping that there are some other people who are like, great, flowers are my thing. I love the style of image, and that will prove me wrong, that it's not as tricky as I imagined. But yeah, I really struggled with the pink flowers, and that was what I did kind of towards the end. So yeah, really interesting to see other people's strategies, and yeah, maybe when I do it a second time, I can pick up some tips.
Yeah, maybe you can try to copy the strategy of whoever is going to win this one.
Yeah, but Aiden's looking really strong there. All right.
It's an interesting aspect, because sometimes very strong puzzlers have a certain way to go about it, and then I try to copy them, and I realize, oh, actually for me this is not working out that well. So it might be the case that different strategies exist for different people for a good reason, and maybe your approach was actually the best for yourself.
Yeah, well, how are you with flowers in general? Like like lupines is one that people really struggle with. Is that something that you enjoy? Or
Not really, honestly. It's it depends. I think flowers can go from really manageable to extremely difficult. Like I don't think that they're generally easy or hard, because they can have many different colors, structures. So it can actually be manageable. But if you have like a flowers like this in this image, where it's mostly like round, you have a center and then an outside area. Those kind of structures have the challenges that you mentioned before, that you have to kind of most of the time go from the inside to the outside, and that can be tricky when you build outwards. But I think on average, I'm not that doing that well on flower puzzles. I found.
yeah, actually, when I organized the EJJ trio competition, in the registration form there was just a comment box, just empty. If there was anything that somebody coming to trio wanted to tell us, and somebody wrote in there, please no puzzles with flowers or trees. I really don't like puzzling flowers and trees. So yeah, so flowers is one of those categories that yeah, can be on the trickier side, but is yeah, can help come in a competition. I mean, we saw Flower Jungle come up in the world semi-finals. I would actually say that's more probably more one on the easier side, because it had very clear like outlines, like with black outlines and clear sections. The colors were a bit more blocky. It wasn't a watercolor style. It was a bit more like this modern illustration, and that's an example of like a easier flower puzzle. And then on the other hand, you have things like lupines or Bauernhof in Sweden, where the flowers just blend. And I think what's even more harder is when the flowers get blurry, and it's just kind of like blending into the others. You just don't have any definition.
Yeah, I think when you have like a meadow or something like that, like in the Sweden puzzle, where it's actually like a big area of green and then just some colorful dots around, that can be really difficult.
Okay, we have on screen Annika from Germany, Aurelia from Germany, Ajalyn from Argentina, Birgit from Germany, and Cameron from Canada.
Yeah, most people seem to agree on the yellow and or the pink flowers first. I think Cameron is also quite far along with the border finished and the pink flowers already assembled. It is a bit tricky to see how Alan is doing there, because I don't see any border sorted out, but we do have a couple of flowers already put together.
Yeah, and Aiden is doing really well. Already got two big sections done, and like 3 smaller flowers. So that's looking really nice. But yeah, definitely going on the pinks there. yeah, so let's see what some of the participants said. Yeah, so Annika says that with team puzzling, it's really fun. I like to talk to my teammates, and you can get more puzzles done. Yeah, so that's another advantage. If you're if you're training, you can just get through puzzles faster. Yeah, what's like a good time for a 4 people on a 1,000 piece puzzle?
I think it might be comparable to solo 500s. So good times can be under 40 minutes. And then they can go up until like 1 hour, 1 hour 30, depending, of course, on the difficulty of the puzzle. I think it's quite comparable. But I do think like the solo puzzling is a bit more like pushed out on the edge of what is possible, so to say. So I think we see more high-end, very fast times on that category than in teams. I think teams has a bit more potential to still push that boundary because it is not so much focused on, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I
But
mean that those yeah, you can do some really fast times. Yeah, and I mean if you go through these 1,000 puzzles, like sometimes you see these like people who are sharing photos of like their training stack of what they did as pairs or as teams, and they just get through like 10,000 pieces like in a day. It's pretty amazing. Yes, so Cameron also wrote a lot. So Cameron is from Canada and he's living in France. Um, he says, I think the main pro is the fun atmosphere of puzzling with others to share obstacles and successes. Also, the act of talking about the puzzle while building can in itself help with future strategies. I guess a common con is that you have to stick with a section much more than with solo puzzling, in which you can jump around as you see something to assemble. I think that's also a good point. Like maybe you're like stuck on a really big section of trees or a big section of sky and you can't switch because somebody else has got the other one. And then he says, I haven't done a team or pair puzzling as often as I would like, as I'm still trying to identify other puzzlers who live near me. This can be
Mhm.
particularly difficult if you move to a new country. Yeah, so he's in Bordeaux. For example, in upcoming events, Worlds and Europeans, I'm still trying to find teams to join. So perhaps another con is the initial process of finding team members. And yeah, so he would like to know, yeah, how to identify and join teams for puzzling fun, practice, or team events. So I did make a post yesterday on Instagram for the European Championship. So if you are interested in going and don't have a team, you can write under there and hopefully connect with some others. Yes, and track down Cameron. He's looking for some teammates.
yeah, right now in Germany, we also have like a marathon event coming up in November in Munich, and we already see on the Discord server that people are looking for teams to join that competition. So yeah, it's also an option. Maybe I don't know if France has some similar ways to connect to other puzzlers, but there are probably ways to yeah, on social media, maybe Instagram, to find out other people, maybe even that are living close by. And yeah, maybe there are meetups. We have a lot of meetups in different cities in Germany, for example, which makes it easier to connect and build teams that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, starting with just like a social puzzle get together is a good way to find people and then meet up for competitions or on social media. All right, so on screen we have Catherine, co-host Catherine from Luxembourg. We also have Catherine from USA, actually visiting the USA at the moment. She took her puzzle with her. She lives in Germany. And we also have Charlene from Switzerland and Christina from Denmark.
Yeah, I imagine it's quite early in the day in the US right now. Um, so yeah, um, we see on Christina also start with the yellow flowers, um, and then it's hard to see where she's going next. Seems like the light pink pieces, and on Is it Charlene? Um, yeah, Charlene screen with the black table. I think that's also pretty interesting with the contrast of the light colors. We also can see the border and the yellow and uh, pink flowers. So yeah, quite a good progress on many fronts here. It's a bit difficult to see who's ahead because we still have lots of gaps in the puzzles on everyone's table here. Um, and yeah, Catherine also is looking pretty good with the border and the red sections done. Um, it's going to be interesting where she goes next too. Might probably also be that the yellow flowers are almost, or at least the centers of the yellow flowers are done.
Yeah.
And Aiden is still looking like he might be in the lead, at least from the people that we've seen so far.
Hmm. Yeah, I like it how there are like flowers connecting. That's the fun part when the flowers start connecting to each other and not just being islands, either connecting to the border or to an adjacent flower.
Mm.
So that looks really nice there. Yeah. So let's keep on moving.
Yeah, it's probably going to be tricky also in the end when the flowers are done and there's the green parts that are left to fill in. I feel like that might be tricky to figure out exactly where the pieces are going, but I hope that everyone will push through that and not be discouraged because yeah, it's the same puzzle for everyone.
Yeah, well, that's the part where I say I wish that I had focused more on the background because I'm better at busy puzzles and not so good at like
Mm.
block sections. And I feel like with the background, I could do it more like a busy puzzle where I could kind of look at the box, find out where it went, and then locate it and place it. Um, yeah, but yeah, everybody seems to be going for the biggest flowers of all. So
Mm.
I have ever, yeah, just approaching it a very different way to me. But yeah, we're at coming up to 33 minutes. And on screen we have Daniela from Germany, Daniela from the Netherlands, Danit from the Netherlands, Daria from Denmark, and Dietmar from Germany.
Yeah, Delia also appears to be quite far along. It's a bit easier to see what she has already assembled, but yeah, there might be some way to go for connecting the flowers, but the bottom left already looks pretty solid. Hard
Mhm.
to hard to make it out with who of Aiden or Daya is further ahead right now. And on the other screens, we see yeah, the border's finished for the most part, and now the flowers begin to fill in. Yeah, Dietmar also starting the inside with the bright pink flower on the bottom, and Danielle having the bottom left corner filled in as it seems, and working now on the bottom right question mark. No, on the more yellow pinkish one.
Yeah, if we look at the tables, there's quite a difference in the assembly area, you could say, or the way the pieces are spread out. Like, for example, Danielle Schultz has it quite clear. She's got her border. Um, Finished pieces are placed within the border, roughly where they belong, and then some sorted out sections above and like the rest to the left. Whereas Daria is building out from the middle towards the outside, like from within the chaos, and others have pieces to the left and above and to the right. Like, how do you puzzle when you're doing solo? Do you have a clear assembly area and a place where you pull from, or a place where you put the tried but can't find pieces? How do you do your setup?
Not really. Maybe I should try to be more orderly. I'm more like probably in line with what Daya is doing. So just like have a place where I'm assembling, and that naturally becomes bigger as the piece the piece goes, and then I have the other pieces around it. Or if I can organize it like that, for example, if I start at the top, then I can push it upwards and pull the pieces around it. But yeah, I feel like this is also a growth point for me to optimize the piece organization. But I can imagine that if you are not doing a full sort at the beginning with this one, that the organization might be tricky because it's not so easy to tell just by the color where the piece is going, because several flowers have similar colors. So yeah, this was probably if I were to do this puzzle, I would probably also be quite chaotic.
Mm. Yeah, so we now have Dora. Yeah, don't have a registration from Dora, but I believe that's she's from Switzerland. We have Ekaterina from Russia, Eliska from Czechia, Everly from Estonia, and I just jumped over Eric. Eric is from the Netherlands, not so speedy puzzler.
Yeah, I feel like the not so speedy speed puzzler has become the quite speedy speed puzzler. um, and we also see him doing quite well, I feel, with a couple of flowers already finished, and the border. Um, yeah, we have Dora, for example, still also having finished the border and pulling out some pieces on a side tray. To get that sorting going. Ekaterina has a pretty good connected section already in the bottom left with the dark pink, light pink, and yellow flowers. So yeah, it's coming along for many of the puzzles here.
Yeah, it's nice seeing those completed flowers and those completed borders. Quite satisfying to see that. Okay. Yeah, so I started at M in the alphabet. I'm now got to the end, started back at A, and now I'm at F. So still got a few more people to introduce. And then we'll, yeah, still got about another 20 people or so to introduce, and then we'll focus in on who could be in the running for the podium for the top 10. Okay, so we have Philippa from Portugal, Fatani from Cyprus, Frida from Germany, Fuji from Hungary, Gabriella from Romania, and Gauta from Norway.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is agreeing on the way to do this, for the most part. Yeah, we see more borders finished, more pink flowers finished. So that's almost done for all of the puzzles that we can see right now. And now I think we might see after this actually a separation of strategy. I feel because after the pink ones and the yellow ones, maybe it's not so clear where to go next. So I'm eager to see what everyone is doing afterwards.
Yeah, so the flowers that are left over are a bit more watercolory, so they are a bit more like thinner in the colors. They're not so vibrant, and you have a bit more like swirly and textures. Yeah, they're a bit more yeah, they're just not as solid and just a bit more like shifty and transparent. So I can understand that those ones are left to a bit later. Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
looking really, yeah.
especially the one in the top left, the yellow pinkish, or I think that might be one of the trickier ones to assemble. But we have already seen someone. I forgot who it was, but in the beginning, like we had we saw a puzzler already having that finished. So maybe it's not as bad.
Ida Elton, your camera is off. Can you please check that? Yeah, so Galter Brackstad, he's in the team, the Arctic Puzzlers. So that's the team with Kristen Tuve, her sister Linda, her mum Siv, and then Galter as well. And he said the advantage of team puzzling is that everyone on the team is faster than him.
I mean, I don't know if this is an advantage or a disadvantage because because it was like the pros and cons, and it might be both.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a con, like, oh,
Yeah.
everybody else is faster than me, and then I realized which team he's on, and I'm like, That's quite an advantage to have Kristen on your team.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, but he also did really well in the Norwegian Championship. I think he came, was it second in the with a photo puzzle. So he's really good at gradients and sky. All right, so we also have on screen Helen from the UK, Ida. I don't have a registration for Ida. Please register afterwards. Yeva from Latvia, Irma from Switzerland, and Jan from the Netherlands.
I really feel like Ida might be in the lead from what we have seen. I mean, I don't know, of course, how the other ones that we've already looked at earlier are doing right now, but um, it seems like a lot of the puzzle is filled. Might also be that there are some pieces still lying in the puzzle that that I see as filled in, but yeah, it looks a bit like the puzzle is coming together. It looks more like this is a puzzle where now the gaps can be filled in rather than we have some islands that should be connected. And yeah, Gauta also was pretty good in the running there. But I feel the same for many puzzles we see right now, like Helen and Leva. We can see more flowers, like the islands getting larger in the puzzle.
Yeah, it's more comforting to see these like nice rounded sections coming together. Yeah, that's looking really good there. All right, so still very much on the pinks. Yeah, let's see who else we have with us tonight. So we have about 75 people were registered, and but I think a few people forgot. So I think we're closer to 80-ish people in the competition. So we have Jana. Don't have a registration for you, Jana. I think, but she's been with us before. I think she's from Latvia, possibly. Then we have Jane from Denmark, Janine from Germany, Jenny from Finland, Jenny from the Netherlands, and Jessica from USA.
Yeah, again, we see lots of pink flowers assembled. Yeah, it's good to see that everyone seems to be making good progress here, even though we are already over 40 minutes in. But yeah, this is going to be maybe take a bit longer, but the progress seems to be steady for everyone here.
Yeah, I think of this one more like an endurance puzzle more than a sprint. And yeah, I don't see in I only see a couple of people standing up at this one. Yeah, so we have yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention Jessica. An important point that Jessica said, she does a lot of team puzzling. She's part of the Ohio gang. Sorry, I forgot the name. We'll just call them the Ohio gang. Oh no, yeah, her team. I think her team is called Indoor Kids. She was also at the US Nationals, and they have some regular get-togethers in the Ohio area. And she says team puzzling is less pressure and more fun. And I think that's also a common theme that came out, just that you can share the load, so it does feel like less pressure than a solo competition when you're with a team. And, like if you have a really hard puzzle together, like you all kind of share in the misery. And if you have the joy of doing well, you also share that together. So yeah, less pressure. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. With the solo puzzle, it's like there's nobody else that that you can rely on if you're struggling. But with the team, you are in this together, so to say. And I like the team name Indoor Kids, by the way. I can relate to that.
Okay, so we are at J. We have Joanna from Poland, Jody from the UK, Julia from Austria, Karen from Germany, Kath from the UK, and Katrin from Switzerland. I like how Joanna has got like that top right corner done, and it's how it's kind of like an island on its own, but it's like a really quality heavy section up there by itself.
Yeah, it's. I think many puzzles had this section already filled in, but if you have the border, it doesn't stand out as much as with her. Um, I think Katrin is pretty far along. Like it looks good from what I can see. A lot of the pink flowers have been already assembled, even the smaller ones. So that means that she can now focus on the more lighter yellowish flowers, or even the background.
Yeah, so it looks like Catherine has pulled, she's done all the pinks. I don't see any pinks left in her pile.
Mm.
And it's more like greens and whites that are left behind. So yeah, no, looking really good there in the way that those flowers that she has done are all connected. There's only like 2 big holes. I mean, they're still quite significant sized holes, but it's nice to have. I really like it when you have a section that joins the lower border to the top border. It's like, yeah, because then the border doesn't shift around anymore, and it feels like it's anchored. So that looks really nice there.
Mm. Yeah, it's some sort of extra satisfaction if you find this connection between the border parts. Sometimes even something that we call out in the team competitions when we have that connection done just for that extra morale boost.
Okay, we've got Kim from the Netherlands, Lena from Germany, Lynn from Denmark, Letizia from Switzerland, Linda from the Netherlands, and Lynn from Germany. And I just want to mention that Linda from the Netherlands was in the most competitions in the first quarter of 2025. My husband started to do the statistics today, and he said I had to mention that she was in 16 competitions. I think that's correct, Linda from the Netherlands. So yeah, a very experienced EJJer right there.
Yeah, that's some dedication. So the 16 competitions were only the EJJ competitions?
Yes, for January, February, and March.
Oh,
So
that's
she was very dedicated.
yeah. So I'm assuming that even this puzzle cannot shock her.
Yes, I mean we had all kinds of puzzles in the first quarter. I have to admit, the second quarter we have had, well, no, not the second quarter. I would just say the most since the beginning of the year we have had a higher share, a higher proportion of trickier puzzles or challenging puzzles than we have had in the previous. So towards the end of the year. However, the batch that people have purchased and have now, so starting on Monday through to like April, May, to the end of May, there's a lot more like fun and easier puzzles in there. So I'm sorry for the high concentration of trickier puzzles. It's just the way that they just felt, they fell into the allocation, but there's some sunshine coming around the corner, don't worry.
But I mean, difficult puzzles can also be fun. Like this feeling after you finish the puzzle of satisfaction, and that can be a lot higher if it was a really tricky one and you managed to push through to the end.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, I this Drukari competition that used the bird flower, the one that Teresa won with a time of 1 hour and 32 minutes, like, I'm so pleased that I've done that puzzle. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do it ever anytime soon, but like the amount of satisfaction and pride that I feel that I survived that puzzle, like it's immense. Like I think that's like my highest satisfaction of completing a puzzle. My time was 2 hours 30 something, and yeah, it was a hard slog, but I think anyone who's done that puzzle, whether you took like 3 hours to do the puzzle or like 5 weeks to finish it, like it's done and you survived, and you made it. And this one is definitely easier than that one, than the Jukari competition. So we have we're at 50 minutes, and I hear some people are yeah, more than 50% done. So I'm just going to introduce the last competitors, and then we'll focus in on, yeah, who's getting close to the end. So we have Lisa, she's from Sweden, and Loretta from Ireland. And yeah, so someone just asked in the chat, is this a 50 plus competition? Yes, this is. So this is for the participants who have not done 6 or more first attempts under 50 minutes. Now, I know a couple of people have, since they purchased the puzzle, have managed to kind of break that barrier, and they did write to me and say, oh, what do I do? You know, I'm really happy. I have made 6 attempts under 50 minutes, but I have this puzzle. And so the rule is, yes, you are allowed to participate, the ones that you own. And, you know, you can be proud of yourself. It's a really great achievement. But just when the next round of competitions come up for sale, then you are not eligible to purchase them. But we have a couple of people who've been training really hard, and they've managed to break that barrier, and we're really pleased for them. And we hope, yeah, we hope that they make, yeah, hopefully make the top 10 in these competitions before they, yeah, get bumped out.
Yeah, I think this is a great way for puzzlers who might not be on the top end, also to get some spotlight for their puzzling and have a competition that is a bit more, yeah, maybe an even playing field.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main purpose of this. Like, we know that, yeah, we can't all be those people that finish puzzles under 40 minutes. And yeah, like, we just wanted to keep people motivated, that even if like in a normal competition, that you don't feel like, well, I'm never going to be in the top 10 or the top half because yeah, you know, I'm just starting or I'm towards the end of the pack. But just to take away the like elite members, you could say, the elite puzzlers, and give the next batch of kind of rising up and coming speed puzzlers a chance to, yeah, to make that podium, make that top 10, and get the yeah, just be extra motivated and get some rewards as well.
Yeah. Also, I think there's a competition coming up in May in Siegen, the Puzzle Blitz, where there's also going to be a beginner competition. So it's probably I think it's a smaller puzzle, but this is also a good opportunity for starters to yeah, to get the taste of speed puzzling competitions without too much stress or pressure.
Yeah, so yeah, no, that's really great. And yeah, so also Fuji, who's organizing the competition, she also wants to yeah, give a chance for more people to get involved in speed puzzling who may find 500 pieces a bit of a struggle. And yeah, just to give people like a smaller goal to reach, and that they can finish in a shorter time. So on screen, I've put up what it sounds like who our leaders are at the moment. We have Aiden, Stephanie K, Tammy, Mandy, and Ida.
Yeah,
oh, and
it's a bit difficult to see exactly how far Aiden is along, but it looks good. The remaining pieces seem to be all the background sections. But I also like Stephanie's progress here. So I think those are probably the 2 contenders to look out for right now. But of course, they are not that far ahead from the others that we're seeing.
yeah, so Maggie is also looking really strong there. I'm going to check in on Fuji. Yeah, I think Tammy has a lot of experience with flower puzzles. She's one of the most experienced speed puzzlers in America, and was also yeah, head of the Jigsaw Association in the US. So I'm sure she's seen her fair share of flower puzzles. So I've also added to the screen, yeah, Maggie from Austria, Fuji, and here Katrin is also doing a great job.
Yeah, I think Maggie and Fuji probably need to pick up the pace if they would like to make it into the top spot. But it's certainly possible.
Yeah, so like if we compare what sections are done compared to what hasn't been done, yeah, so it looks more like the greens are being left towards the end. Yeah, so Aiden has like some whitish peachy colored pieces left. Stephanie K has some yellows, but there's also some yellows in the background. There's yellow leaves and then just like some random paint splotches. Yeah,
I think
Eden.
most puzzles agree with you, Michelle, about doing the background last, at least from your first attempt.
Yeah, so I don't know who's listening, so I don't know if anyone's picking up on my point, but yeah, no, that's an interesting. So sometimes with the puzzle, like especially if there's a puzzle with bright colors, you can get really, I find myself, I get, because I'm more drawn to bright colors, I tend to like really focus what's on the foreground and kind of forget what's in the background. And it's only often very late in the game that I realize, oh, there's also a background here, and there's less colors of that, you know, like if I'm, instead of like looking for like, I don't know, 80 peach pieces, they all look the same, peachy white, yellowish pieces that are all blending into each other. Maybe you look for like 10 black pieces, for example, and kind of cut it down like that. But yeah, are you someone who likes to do backgrounds, or do you always kind of always drawn to what's in the main part of the image?
I think I'm more drawn to the main part too. Like it is something that I need also to maybe change in my approach. That not the thing that pops out to me most is not always the easiest to assemble. Um, I don't know. Maybe you remember the EJJ with the hedgehog puzzle from Cherry Pazzi. I was like one of the only ones who did the hedgehogs first because they just popped out to me and they were in the foreground and ended up maybe not being the optimal strategy. Um, yeah, but if I look at the image from today, I think the background is actually manageable because there are subtle difference in the color and the structure of the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So there's some greenish, dark greenish section on the left, and then some lighter green section in the middle, and then some dark blue section on the right. So I think if you pull out the background pieces, it might actually be manageable to fill them in before the lighter flowers.
Hmm. Yeah, I've also added Anna art and Julia to the screen, also making great progress. Yeah, Anna's got the nice section, yeah, connecting the left border through the middle up to the top border, and um, also connecting down. So she's got three or four holes to fill. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Yulia is also looking really strong there. Got lots of, yeah, it's a bit hard to see with the reflection on the table, but you can see that the colorful sections are the ones that are connected, and yeah, yeah, just spreading out a bit more, looking good there.
Yeah, I feel like from the puzzle that we see on Julia's table that, oh, it seems like she's already almost done, but then there's actually quite a few pieces lying there still. So there must be some holes in there somewhere.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Stephanie K is really going strong. She's really picking up the pace there. And we can see that the patches are getting smaller. I mean, there's multiple patches left of the background. So all of the flowers, the large flowers have been done. And now
Yeah.
she's yeah, working to fill in the gaps. But yeah, Aiden is also at a similar stage.
I would not rule out Katrin either. Like from the pieces that we see, it's actually not that many that are left for her to do. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close, I feel.
Yeah, so we've just crossed the 1 hour mark, but yeah, for this stage of the game, I'm really positive to see this. They're doing a lot better than I was. So yeah, good on you, those who are finding your groove with flowers.
Yeah, it's just the last stretch for for some of the puzzles. You can do it probably within the next 10 minutes, I would think. Is it possible?
I hope so. It looks really optimistic at this stage. Like, yeah, that those piles are getting smaller, definitely less than 100 pieces. So several people have, yeah, less than 100 pieces to go. Gauta is also looking pretty strong there.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to assemble the lighter flowers right now. That we see some puzzles have already filled in. Like Stephanie, for example, is just filling in the background right now. It's really difficult to say who's ahead. I think it's going to be, even though this is actually a longer puzzle, like time-wise, it is cool to see that that there's no clear candidate who's ahead right now.
Yeah, Helen was also doing really well. Yeah, filling in the gaps in the background. Most of the flowers are done, and yeah, it looks like just yeah. So actually, Helen has done the darker parts of the background. You can see most of like the grayish and dark greens have been placed, and there's some lighter pieces left over. So yeah, it looks this is the hard thing with the 50 plus competitions, is that because we're not used, a lot of those big names that we recognize, that we know to expect to be towards the front, they're not in this competition. And so we're getting to know a whole new bunch of other people when we don't know them so well. We haven't, maybe because in a regular EJJ there might be more towards like position 30 towards 50. We don't notice them so much, but now this is their time to shine. And so we have right now, I'll just read out the names that are kind of in the running for top 10. Aiden, Stephanie K, Tammy, Mandy, Ida, Maggie, Katrin, Gauta, Cameron, Helen, yeah, some Fruji as well. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to see. So it's anybody's game right now. So for those of you who are nearing towards the end, get into your finishing mode, whether you need to stand up and shake it out a bit and just get another burst of energy, or maybe get an overhead view. Maybe if you need to sort your pieces, put them into some little piles, or just clear them out. Like some of you can see the finishing line in sight, and yeah, we really want to see how you're getting on.
Yeah, it's just the last stretch of the puzzle for some, and even if it's not the last stretch for everyone right now, I hope that you can still push through. Like there's a lot of time to go still, so a lot of time to put those pieces together.
Yeah, and also can add Maria to that group hunting the top 10. Yeah, looking really good there. She's you can see on the left hand side of her puzzle, she's got the lighter pieces pulled out, and on the right, yeah, a bit more darker pieces. But she's also done a lot of the greens, a lot of the blacks, and it looks like she's going to end on like one of the more lighter colored flowers. There's like a big hole towards the bottom of her puzzle where there's one flower missing, but looking really promising for Maria.
Yeah, so it seems like somebody did the background, not that last after all.
Yeah,
I
but
think we're getting close to the end right now.
yeah,
Only a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I have a really good feeling for Stephanie K. I mean, her hands are moving really fast. It looks like she's standing up, and she's working at quite a frantic pace there. If we just look at the speeds of the hands moving, she's really going for it. And yeah, and she's definitely one of the people on my list before the competition. I mean, she's been in several competitions, and I know she's yeah, she's a really strong puzzler. So this could be her night.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Aiden is also just around her speed, so it's not done yet.
So I'm going to check in again with some of the others. But it looks like the top three at this stage, those with the least amount of pieces, would be Aiden, Steffi, and Katrin.
Agreed, yeah. Probably around like 20 pieces left for Aiden, maybe 25, provided there are not more pieces lying on the puzzle itself. But same for Stephanie.
All right, 10 pieces left for Steffi.
Yeah, I think she might make it.
Go,
She seems to be
Steffi.
ahead now.
If you can hear us, go, go, go. They're doing great. And Katrin and Aiden are coming up just behind, about, yeah, just maybe like 20 pieces behind. Looking really strong there. Oh, she's got a couple of pieces on top of the
Yes.
puzzle, but sliding them around, finding those gaps.
Just, yeah, 2 more pieces. I see a couple of holes still. And that's it.
Done!
Congratulations.
Congratulations! It's Steffi at 1
Well
hour
done.
and 7 minutes. Thank you for being a lot faster than me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, very well done. I think 1 hour 7 minutes is probably not a bad time at all for this
That's a
kind
really
of
good
difficult.
time.
Yeah.
I feel much better about that. Yes. So for those who are interested, my time was 1 hour and 26 minutes. So, but look, Katrin and Aiden. Oh, looks like Aiden is just got one little patch to finish. Got the pieces in the left hand and placing in those gaps.
Yeah, I think he has it. There we
Oh,
go.
congrats, Aiden.
Second
Excellent.
place.
And still within 1 hour and 7 minutes. So it's just like less than a minute behind. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool that with this finishing time of 1 hour and 7 minutes, it's still so close between the first and second place. And I think, Katrina is coming up very soon as well. So even third place, probably quite close.
And yeah.
Just a couple of pieces to go. And there we go.
Oh, fantastic, Katrin. Well done. Third place. So just a minute later. So I'm really pleased with those times. It's really great. So, but who else is in the running for the top 10? We have Maria Rusnakova, Gauta, Helen, Mandy.
Yeah, Helen seems to be pretty far along. Mandy too. Might be like a race for the fourth place between the two of them. It's a bit tricky to see exactly who's how far along, but from the pieces that we have left, I would say that probably Mandy might be in the lead.
Yeah, no, that's looking really good there. Mandy's got less than 10 pieces, and Helen. So, oh yeah, because Helen's also got some pieces on the other side, so it's her pile is split. So, yeah, Mandy and Helen really close here. It's just, yeah, there's greens and blacks on both sides of the puzzles.
Okay, that's a good trick to to hide some pieces from the camera. So
Yeah.
it seems like you are actually in the lead. So I think my bet is on Mandy now. Yeah, there she's
Yeah.
all right.
Well
Yeah,
done,
a bit
Mandy.
behind in the time.
So for this type of puzzle, I'm really happy to know that there are people that are faster than me. Um, I feel quite relieved. But yeah, I think yeah, for many other people, when we look at the cameras, we can see, yeah, most of the pinks are done and most of the borders. So yeah, good to see other people making progress in the background. So I just heard that Matilda, your camera is not working. Let me check that, Matilda. Okay, it's disappeared.
Yeah, I think there might be some people here who may not finish within the 2 hours, but I hope that you know, nobody would be discouraged, because this is a really tricky puzzle, and yeah, it's still a good feat to have the endurance to puzzle for 2 hours. And yeah, let's hope to see as many people finishing it as possible, and even for those who can't, maybe put as many pieces together as you can. Still quite the accomplishment.
Have you had to count pieces during a competition?
Yes, I have. I was one of the people in the pairs competition in the Worlds 2023 with this Boston image that was really busy, and yeah, we definitely did not finish that one.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get a trickier puzzle and all the times are shifted towards the back. But yeah, every piece counts. All right.
Absolutely. Even on the world stage, with this one, only I think 9 pairs it was that could finish the puzzle. So there's absolutely no shame in not being able to finish it in time. It just happens sometimes when the puzzle is tricky.
Yeah, and I think also, I mean, at the Worlds and at the national competitions, they tend to have like shorter time frames with about 90 minutes for individual and 75 minutes for pairs. Um, like I think that's more because they're trying to fit in more competitions per day. Okay, of course, and it should be a higher, higher standard. So they try to make the time limits shorter. But yeah, even I mean, just the competition that was with Drukari with this bird flower. I mean, the fact that the fastest time was Teresa and Alejandro with an hour and a half, that says something, But it still counts. Like, sometimes a puzzle just takes longer.
Yeah, but it's also encouraging to see that even the top puzzlers can have those types of puzzles with longer times. So yeah, it is hard for everyone. So it is still an even playing field.
Yeah, I know. And as I skip through the cameras, yeah, we're seeing more people coming towards the end. So Yulia is about to place her last piece, and we have Maria done.
Maria.
Congrats, Maria. And Ruth has a very fast diminishing pile. Yeah, so just about 20 pieces left. Ida has about 10 to 15 pieces left. So that's really encouraging to see. Looking really good, everyone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can fill out the top 10 relatively soon.
Yeah, so just as a recap, first was Stephanie K, second Aiden, third Katrin, fourth Mandy, fifth Helen, sixth Maria, and seventh Julia. So
Yeah,
yes.
congratulations, Julia, for that finish.
So I'm
Pretty
just gonna,
solid top 10 time.
yeah, I'm just gonna write this here in the YouTube chat that we can keep track better. So we've had 7 finishes so far. Yeah, so let's see if we have someone to join us for an interview. Just check my screen. Oh, yeah, so on screen right now we have Gauta, Ida, Fruji, Ruth, and Magdalena. And Milka. Okay, I haven't had Milka on in a while. Let's check in.
Yeah, seems like a couple of puzzles might finish very soon.
Mm. Okay, so Stephanie K won't be joining us for an interview. Second place was Aiden. Just checking the list who is available. Not this time. And Katrin. Okay, Katrin. If Katrin is there, we'd love to hear. Yeah, Katrin, if you're there, you can turn on your microphone. And your camera. Okay, and Ida just finished. Or have you pressed done, Ida? I don't see your done message.
Oh, Maggie is done in the meantime. Congratulations.
Oh, and Maggie, you're done as well. Okay.
Yeah, try to make sure after you finish your puzzle to push the done message to the chat in the meeting so that we can see the actual time and the order of in which everyone finished.
Yeah, so Ida just finished but didn't write done. I just will have to check the video. Okay, so if we include Ida, so we had Yulia was 7th, then Maggie 8th, Ida 9th. Okay, so we've had 9. So we still have one more space for top 10. And yeah, it could be Ruth with just 3 pieces left. Or is it Galta with, oh, Galta's got 10 pieces left.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth, looks like Ruth has to run. Yes, and you got done.
There we go.
All right,
Congratulations,
congrats.
really good.
So
Top
I
10
think
spot.
that's the top 10. So we had 8th was Maggie, 9th Ida, and Ruth 10th. And we're at 1 hour 18. That's really great. Okay, so Katrin, if you're there, you can turn your mic and camera on, but I think she just hopped out to, yeah, it wasn't working to pop back in again. Yeah, so the parts that people tend to be finishing on, yeah, it's either the greens in the background or this like this light colored flower that we see Galta plugging away at, this larger one. Yeah, just because there's this larger one and at the bottom border, it does contain many pieces. So it's, and some of those pieces could belong to other ones. So there's also the same color in the top left border. Congrats, Galta.
Hi, Michelle.
Congratulations.
Hello. Oh,
I'm back.
here we go.
Hello.
Oh, you had to, oh, there you go. Oh, well.
Sorry, I had some problems with my browser, but I could fix it. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, well, congratulations on 3rd place tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell us what you thought of the puzzle.
Oh, I loved it. I love the image. It's so beautiful. I used to do aquarelle painting myself, and so that was that was an amazing surprise. Yes.
Cool. And how did you feel about puzzling it? Like, what was your approach?
I was going for the colors because it's there are slightly different. They seem really similar, but if you look close, you see yeah, little differences, like the pink ones, the blush pink ones, they have like different structures, and that's easier for me than starting with the edge. Oh, I'm sorry. So I think I started with the yellow one and then the dark pink reddish one. Yeah, so I just did one by one.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel like there was like a 50-50% split almost between people who do the edge first and starting with the vibrant colors.
Yes.
Did you finish off with the background or with the brighter flowers?
No, I did. I think it was a mixture, but most of the leftover pieces were background pieces. I think the white ones were also the white pieces of, or the really like light ones, but most of them were the background colors. Yes.
Yeah, because we had this with this. I don't know if you followed the commentary, but we had this discussion of whether or not to do the background last.
Okay.
And another question was because some of the flowers have those outlines, whether
Yes.
you start the flowers on the edge of the flower and then fill them in, or if you start from the middle and go outward. What was your approach then?
I think most of the flowers I started in the middle because there the colors were mostly like really dark and then not that bright. So
Mm-hmm.
I think only with the oh, I don't know, the orange ones, the blush orange ones, I tried to start with the petals and with these borders around them, but I just went on with the middle. Yes.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because the colors pop out a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And did
I in the beginning when I turned the pieces, look, ich bin here am Interview. That I thought about doing the edge first, but usually I am really slow with finding all the edge pieces, and it makes me more nervous to have like those edge those holes in the edge than starting with the harder inlet of the puzzle. So I decided on my usual strategy to not do the edge first.
Yeah, so you're one of the people who doesn't like doing the edge usually, or because I
Yeah.
feel like the edge is quite a staple for many puzzlers. There's something to grab onto in the first minutes of puzzling. So very straightforward. But yeah, there seem to be some other people who enjoy or who prefer not to do it. So what
Okay.
is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I if I do a puzzle like not on speed, I always start with the edge. But yeah, as I said with speed puzzling, I'm too slow finding all the edge pieces, and I also like in the middle when I'm like losing concentration or when I don't know if I have a blackout or something or just can't see any pieces anymore. Um, then I'm doing the edge, and then it's like motivating because it's easier to do, and I can keep my mind um, off of these thoughts. Oh no, where are the pieces? So when I'm done with the edge in the middle, then I can like start over, and yeah, I'm like refreshed.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
actually a good point. It's like some sort of easier section that you can leave for whenever you need it
Yes.
during the assembly process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel like you needed it with this particular puzzle? Because I feel like this is more on the more difficult side.
I did. I did. I was. I think I was done with the blush pink ones, and I was like, okay, what do I do next? And every time I have this question in my mind, I'm going to the edge because the time I lose with thinking about what can I do next, I can use to do the edge because the edge is not that hard. If you already have some parts of the puzzle done and you can like orientate on that, and then I can think about what I'm doing next during doing the edge. So I did that in this puzzle too. Yes.
Yeah, very interesting approach. Yeah. Good points. Um, So the topic for today is team puzzling. So yeah, you also wrote as an answer to the question that you love to share the joy and adrenaline. So maybe you can just yeah, give us a brief summary of your team puzzling experience.
I do not have much experience with team puzzling. I only started speed puzzling last year. So the only competition I went to with a team, or better than a team with a partner, was the Swiss Nationals last year. And it was such a great experience because when you do the individual, it's like quiet. You don't
Mm-hmm.
hear anything than pieces turning around. And I do like that for the concentration, but I loved it with the pair competition and team competitions when there was like more than just the piece noise, the piece tagging noise. I liked like the busy um, talking quietly together, and you can share, like if you're frustrated, you can share it and your partner can motivate you.
Mm-hmm,
And
definitely.
you can, what I really liked was to divide the parts of the puzzle. So you can really look for parts that are easy for you or that you're good in puzzling. And my partner I had was like a really good um, counterpart for me, because what I didn't like much, did he like? And that was great. That was amazing. So if you have the right team, the right partner, it's like a plus plus. And I love that, like the synergy between us. And it was so much fun because you can also like talk to each other and help each other. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's really cool if you can, separate the tasks in a way that everyone does the things that they enjoy. So this is a
Yes.
yeah, it's yeah, say a win-win for all sides. Yeah, and I also like the chatting that's going on in the beginning of a teams or pairs
Yes.
competition. Like it just fills the room with a bit more energy compared to
Yes.
the individuals. Yeah. Yeah, do you intend to participate in team competitions in the future, maybe?
Yeah, I will be at the Swiss Nationals again this year, single, pair, and team. I would love to go to the Worlds, but as you can see, I have like a little one in my team too. So I have to wait maybe another 1 or 2 years to do that. But here in Switzerland, it's really great. We are all connected with each other, or most of the speed puzzles are connected to each other. So we meet up, we do puzzle swaps, we do practices together, and I really enjoy that. So I'll do more team and pair puzzling this year than last year, but unfortunately, or not more like competitions than last year. Yeah, but the time will come. So yeah.
Yeah, but it can also be a lot of fun just to be at meetups and do team puzzling there, right? Doesn't have